All right, YouTube, how you doing? Welcome back to the channel. It is Friday. Happy Friday to everyone out there. May 16th, we got a full MLB slate to dive into in today's video. Like we always do, I'm going to dive into each and every one of these games. I'm going to give you my prediction on the side. I'll give you my prediction on the total. We'll talk about any other plays like player props that we like within the game as well. But as always, guys, keep an eye down on the pinned comment of this video. That'll take you to all of my final plays, so I'm actually rolling with myself. If that does interest you, it's absolutely free down in the pinned comment. All right, YouTube, how you doing? Welcome back to the channel. I tell you guys I'm a dummy all the time. They don't suck. They've just been sucking. Get them down to -3 for more juice than Jose Canseco in his prime. Tell me you're new without telling me you're new. So don't go jumping down my throat in the comments, right? If you want to fade me, or if you do want to ride me, this still leaves a bad taste in my mouth, right? And remember, more chins, more wins. In terms of yesterday, we have a positive day. Now, I did not think, I actually had this marked incorrectly on the Guy Boston Sports site. I didn't think we had a positive day until when I was going over things this morning. Austin Riley under 2.5 hits, runs, and RBIs. I don't know what it was in my brain, but I thought we had him at 1.5 hits, runs, and RBIs. And he had a hit and a run, right? And I was like, oh man, we lose that one. And I was like, wait a second, it's 2.5. We'll take it. Don't you love when you think you lost something and then hours and hours later you're like, wait a second, that was a winner, let's go. So kind of made my day already, and it's damn early. But we go 3-2 yesterday. The Reds first 5 come through for us, and the Astros and Rangers first 5 under. Orioles money line, yikes. Rays Blue Jays first 5 under, yikes. We can take womp womps for those, because combined those are two really bad looks. But like I said, a 3-2 night, and one in which we didn't even think we won until we had already marked it as a loss, dwelled on it, woke up this morning to redo and re-go over things, and I was like, wait a second, a light bulb. So yeah, kind of like that, but you know what, that was yesterday. Let's go ahead and dive into today. Guys, hit the like button on this video, hit that subscribe button as well, and let's get rocking. Battle of the Chicagos here, right? Not exactly a game in which I'm all that interested in. We have Cade Horton on the mound here for the Cubs, who has the 1 start on the season. He pitched 4 innings against the Mets and didn't really do all that well. He's going up against Shane Smith, who honestly has some of the better numbers out of these White Sox pitchers, right? So I think we can give him some credit there. He's got a 2.08 ERA. He's been really good on the road, but he's going up against a Cubs offense, and a Cubs offense should be able to tag him up. He throws a lot of fastballs. The Cubs top 10 in terms of runs above average against the fastball. So I don't really envision this being a really good spot for Shane Smith. Ultimately, -220, it's a little bit too much. I'm going to say Cubs some way, shape, or form, or nothing for me in this one. Maybe an over, but 11.5. The wind is going to be blowing out in Chicago there. 11.5, maybe a Cubs team total over is what we can get behind. But like I said, based on the pitching here and the odds that have already been set, not exactly the spot in which I really want to be investing today with a full board. So I'd go Cubs in the over, some way, shape, or form. If you need to beat around the bush and massage some numbers, sure. But ultimately, nothing that I'm loving, to potentially put a final play down for. Next up, we have Cincinnati taking on Cleveland. Pitching in this one, we have Brady Singer going up against Tanner Bybee. Though you wouldn't really look at it from this perspective based on how they've done this season, I do think Bybee has a little bit of an edge here just based on his pitch mix and what he'll be throwing against this lineup compared to Brady Singer. Brady Singer's going to throw a ton of sinkers. This Cleveland team is top 5 last 30 days in terms of runs above average, hitting the sinker. So I do think that is really important to note because Bybee's numbers, especially on the road, don't look all that great, whereas Singer's home starts actually look okay, but I'm flipping it. I think that the guy with the worst numbers, actually, that team has the pitching advantage here. So I guess by doing so, I'll take Cleveland because, again, they should be able to hit Singer today. In terms of their stats against Singer in the past, really good, and they've seen him a ton. 143 plate appearances against, and what I mean by that is the current guys on the roster. You could have played for another team, and if you face Brady Singer, then it counts in these numbers, right? It doesn't have to be when you're on the Guardians. 143 plate appearances against, 13% K rate, 8% walk rate, and average against 418, expected slugging here 529, and expected WOBA 413. I think this Guardians team should be primed to be the winning team today. For -125, not all that terrible. This Cleveland team also has won, I believe it's like 4 or 5 of the last. It's either 5 of the last 6 or 4 of the last 5 against the Reds here. in terms of them, just overall, they've played decent baseball, 7-3 in their last 10 games. So I think we give them a little bit of credit there, right? And again, Bybee has started to kind of come along, even though his numbers don't look all that great. So yeah, I think that in all three facets, bullpen, batting, and pitching, we have a little bit of an advantage here from Cleveland. When you look at the bullpen from a rest perspective, they had the day off yesterday, and no real high leverage arms pitched a lot of pitches the day prior to. So yeah, even throw in the bullpen mix, I think this could be a potential final play here for Cleveland to potentially get to Singer there. So I'll go with Cleveland. I've also considered them on their team total, which right now over 3.5 is -165. I'd probably go money line because that is very juiced. And, what if Brady Singer does go out there and pitch well? Because what the good thing is, even though Cleveland hits a sinker well, if his sinker is on, he's going to get a lot of ground balls and cause a lot of guys to ground into outs. So money line is probably where I'd go first and foremost. When it comes to a total, I could see a 5-4 game. I think Bybee's going to do good. I think that the bullpen's good, but this is in Cincinnati, and we know that that is a run-scoring ballpark, and there's a lot of wind blowing today. So, yeah, I'll lean slightly towards the over, but I'm just hoping that this Guardians squad can go out there and, just put up a really respectable number. That's what I'm looking for, because I think if they put up a good number in terms of runs scored, they'll have a massive advantage, and that should not be dropping any jaws there, should it? So yeah, give me the Guardians and the over. A player prop that I'm definitely considering is actually going to be Tyler Stevenson here, under 1.5 hits, runs, and RBIs. Now, he hits the fastball really well, so I guess I could say that worries me to some degree, because Tanner Bybee throws a lot of fastballs, but that cutter, which should be Tanner Bybee's go-to pitch in a sense of, get outs and high, stressful spots, he doesn't hit the cutter well. He has a 0 WOBA on the season, and he doesn't bat righties well either. So both of these, spots kind of make me forget about the fact that, yes, he does hit the fastball well. Against righties this year, he has a -22 WRC plus. Yeah, I think we got a decent player prop spot there. And guys, the tool that I'm using to talk about all those player prop stats is Outlier. I have a link down in the description. I'll also put it in the pinned comment for your convenience. A 7-day free trial. No code needed. Just click the link. After that 7 days, it's $19.99 per month. So a super affordable tool. You hit a play or two with this, you are looking good. It's paying for itself, right? But here we go. Tyler Stevenson, under 1.5 hits, runs, and RBIs. You could see how he's done in his last 10, his last 5, last 20, head-to-head. This season, last season. You can even throw filters in there. Okay, what about this year in home games? What about against right-handed pitchers or home games against righties? That type of stuff, right? But what I was referencing, you scroll down, stuff gets really good. And these are, over the years, some of the best additions that they've made to this tool, especially for baseball. There is no baseball tool out there like this one. But you can get batter to pitcher matchup, right, since 2018. So both these guys should be good to go. You can see plate appearances, average, on base percentage. Right underneath, though, lefty-righty split. So you have his 2025 numbers, so this year. But then how does that differ to right-handed pitchers? It lights up green because we have the under selected. Lights up green, meaning that's good. Good thing about Outlier, green means good, red means bad, pretty damn simple. But over here, 103 average against righties, WRC plus -22. You can even see Tanner Bybee against right-handed bats and left-handed bats, that type of thing. But this is what I really love. Their pitch arsenal, the batter versus the pitch arsenal, and the batter's heat maps. So right now we have Stevenson stats for all, right? Filter to fastball. Okay, we can see green means it goes up, so it's good for him, meaning we're looking at the under here, so that's bad for us. But the cutter, that's what I was talking about, right down to 0, and even down here, okay, well, where does he hit the fastball? The heat map, nothing really meshes, right? The cutter looking good as well. Obviously, we don't have the most amount of sample size with him, but the slider, he hits on over the plate. This is down in the middle. There's so much in here that you can do, and the best part is you can literally just click this. If you wanted to open this up, say on MGM, scan it on your phone, or drag it to a new tab, you can place it right from there. So go ahead and check out Outlier, guys. That link will be down below in the description, as well as the pinned comment. I just showed you a fraction of what they offer. For a premium price tag, they also have EV, boost, arbitrage, and middling. So go check it out. You will not regret it. And by the way, you get 7 days free. Like I said, what's the harm in that? All right, Philadelphia taking on Pittsburgh. There are a few games. We already got to one of them with the Cubs and White Sox. Few games today that just have kind of spread odds and money line odds that really make things difficult, because you could just see that they're weighted heavily towards one direction. Now, this is Andrew Heaney on the mound, who I've been really impressed with, and he's been really good on the road this year, which he is today. He's going up against Ranger Suarez, who's nothing to really write home about. The one thing that I will say is Andrew Heaney has some pretty tough numbers against this Philadelphia lineup. This Philadelphia lineup loves to hit lefties, and they also hit lefty fastballs really well. So, yes, it ultimately comes down to me potentially saying, I guess I'll take a peek at Philadelphia. Now, how do we go about doing that? Because right now, they're minus 225. Suarez is on the mound. I don't really even want to trust him. I would say they're over 4.5 from the runs perspective. Or you take a peek at them in some sort of a same game parlay where you say them on the money line and over, say 2.5 runs scored, that type of a thing. In fact, let me see if I can massage some numbers and get some odds just for an example of that. So please hold. Yeah, so it's even tough to look at that. You can go Philly money line, their team total over 3.5, and you're still paying like minus 150. That is kind of how I would do it if you really do desperately want something to roll with on this game. But again, Andrew Heaney's had a pretty good season, so we can't just throw out the idea that, he goes out there and pitches fairly well, right? Now, again, everything kind of lines up for him not to. They have good history against him, the current guys on the team. They like to hit lefties. He throws a lot of fastballs. They like to hit lefty fastballs. So could be a little bit difficult, right? But nonetheless, that's probably what I'm looking at in this one. But I would say the odds kind of beat us to it. Everything's pretty juiced if you like anything Philadelphia, and that's the side that I like today. All right, we had Chicago. Now we got New York Subway Series here. Yankees taking on the Mets. On the mound for the Yankees is going to be Carlos Rodon going up against Tyler McGill for the Mets here. Tyler McGill, really surprising to me how good he's been this year, right? Now he started to fade off. He went up against St. Louis and then the Cubs. So St. Louis, decent offense. Cubs, good offense. Two of his worst outings so far this season. Still struck out a ton of guys. Carlos Rodon, on the other side of things, just had one of his, it was interesting. He struck out a ton. I think it was like 10 or 11 guys, but 4 earned runs on 8 hits through 6 innings pitched, no walk. So it's like he had so many like good parts of that game against the Athletics, and then the earned runs being the bad one, which is the one that matters, right? Yankees have won 6 of the last 10, as have the Mets here. I would say that you have 2 really good pitchers on the mound, but can't we admit that it just seems like this is a spot in which the offenses are better now in terms of wind? It looks like there's wind blowing out to, I want to say it was left field, which isn't the side of the Yankee Stadium that you'd want it to blow out to, but it's still only, 318 down the line. It's not the short porch and right, but still could be some extra runs there. Now, I think we might get a little bit of precipitation. So either that's going to keep the air really, really humid, or if it does rain and whatnot, we see less runs. But I think that both of these teams' offenses are far superior to the pitchers that they have out there today, even though McGill's been good and Rodon's been good. We're going to see a ton of fastballs. McGill, 43% fastball rate. Rodon, 41%. We're going to go to the slider next for both of these guys. Both teams hit the fastball and slider well. Give me runs in this one. I'm going to lean towards the over 9, and I think I saw an 8.5 as well. Let me make sure that that's not just, an old wives' tale. Yeah, you can get right now over 8.5 or minus 120 over on ESPN. That might be something that we consider. I think both these teams are good, but again, I'm really trusting the fact that these offenses are better. And the Yankees, 2 straight games of kind of some, muted offense, and the Mets, same thing. Both these squads should be looking to just go out there and score a decent amount. On this season, you have the Yankees averaging 5.8 runs per game. The Mets, and by the way, this is something new that we've added to our dashboard right here in the top. So if you've seen this in the past, we didn't have this, but you could see runs this season 4 per game in when they're home and away, and then in their last 3. So obviously that red is the anomaly. I expect them to get back to this. The Yankees did score 12 in their last 3, so it's a little skewed. And in the first 5, we also have that as well for anyone that likes to bet first 5s like I do. So yeah, guys, GuyBostonSports.com. Head to the members area if you do want access to this dashboard. I'll do a little walkthrough later on in the video for sure, but stay tuned for that. But again, I like the over in this one because I think both teams kind of bottlenecked in terms of runs going to be scored. Yesterday, the day before, both of them were kind of off 2 games ago, I should say. So yeah, the over, if I had to pick a side here, I'm going to say Yankees because they're at home. This is a Mets team that's been very, very good, but they've only won 50% of their road games so far this year. Rodon at home, I kind of trust him, and again, this is kind of just like pick. If you like the Mets for the plus money, I'm not going to sit here and argue with you. I do like runs in this game. So it means neither pitcher I would sit there and tell you I think is going to be phenomenal, right? All right, Baltimore taking on Washington. We rolled with the Orioles yesterday, and it blew up in our face. And honestly, I have a sour taste in my mouth, right? Like I say in the intro, I think that has the clip, right? That leaves a bad taste in my mouth. It does, because this Baltimore team now has lost 3 straight games. They've lost 8 of their last 10. This is supposed to be one of the better teams heading into the season. We do have Washington, who's lost 9 of their last 10, so they found their partner. But Mackenzie Gore is on the mound for Washington. And what hand does Mackenzie Gore pitch with? Spoiler alert, lefty. what hand do Orioles, you might as well put a blindfold around them and say, hey, swing the bat when you think the ball is close. The left hand, they could barely hit that. So for what we have here, do I like Cade Povich? You guys know he's got this weird stranglehold on me where I keep saying, oh, I don't like him anymore. I'm not going to roll with him. But this year I keep backing Povich. Not today. This is a Washington team that actually hits lefties pretty well. And a Baltimore team that cannot seem to touch lefties. So for the plus money, I'll lean towards Washington. I don't even think it's worthy of the psycho alert alarm. Well, sound anyways, because I like to use the soundboard. But to me, do I actually get it down myself? Not so sure, because as bad as Baltimore has been, listen to this, Washington, and let me read off their last 10 in terms of what they're scoring, right? Screw who they're going up against, just their offense, right? 1-1-6-0-2, 1-3-2, 5-2. 2 games, 5 or more runs. Other than that, they had 1 3-run game. The rest, so was that 7 of 10, 2 or less runs. So even if Baltimore puts up 2 runs today, they have a chance to win it. So this is a tough one. I'm going to lean towards, the Nationals as well as maybe an Orioles team total under. But, that might be the best thing to do. Orioles team total under just to back Mackenzie Gore. The problem being is that the bullpen for the Nationals stinks out loud. So the more and more nitty gritty we get, the more and more pressure we're putting on Mackenzie Gore, who is good, but isn't actually, having the best season on the road. So yeah, I'm talking out of my ass, not out of my ass, but saying a lot of stuff right now. It's like verbal diarrhea. A lot is telling me that there's so many factors in this one. Maybe our win is staying away. But give me Washington, Baltimore team total under. That's going to be what I consider. And why wait? This might just be a good time to plug the dashboard here. So this is our MLB dashboard, guys. We have so much information here. Like I said, this whole section at the top is brand new today, but we have pitcher data. We have pitcher for home and away, obviously. We have their pitch mix. We also have batting, overall batting versus that hand, whether you're home or away. Bullpen bottom left there. You have the batting versus specific pitches. And then we have player data over here as well. Average versus the hand they're seeing, OPS versus the hand they're seeing. We also have a nice little indicator here to tell you who is in the lineup, whether they bat left or right, because left and right information for the pitchers over on the left. And then per pitch info as well to know what players hit what pitches. To get access to that, over on GuyBostonSports.com. Again, GuyBostonSports.com, which you can also watch our videos there. In the members area, you hover over that MLB dashboard. This gets updated each and every morning. You can open this bad boy up and you will see. You can zoom in, do whatever you want with it, but you get this broken out in each individual game in a visual format. You're probably like, wow, my eyes are hurting. You can zoom in. You can do whatever you want. You can download this. This is yours once you have it for the day. You can download the PDF to your computer or not. But again, tons of information. And this is built because a couple of years ago, I was like, all right, I have too many tabs open, too many sites as I'm trying to make these videos. I need to consolidate. So we built ourselves a dashboard to give what I would consider everything I needed to head in and be knowledgeable about these games and have my picks on these games. Put that all in one place and boom, here it is. So now we bring it to you guys. If you are a member, you'll see exactly what you just saw, right? If you're not a member, so let's set this to logged out access. It's going to say something a little bit different. Once you click that, it's going to say, hey, you need a membership, and these memberships are very, very cheap. This is not a cash grab for us. All sports, you get $6.99 per month. If you want the NBA, $2.99. MLB, which right now $4.99 per month, but we have some cool advancements coming, I would say, in the next couple of months. This price may actually go up throughout the MLB year. What's cool about this, any of these prices you get in at, as long as you keep that active, you're locked in at that price. So if you keep that subscription at $4.99 for the MLB dashboard for 3 years, and by the time 3 years comes, we're charging, $10 a month, $15 a month for it, you could still get that $4.99 per month because you've kept it active. So I think that's pretty cool that we're doing that. And I just think that that's kind of like a nod to the OGs, the people that have been there from the beginning. But yeah, go ahead and check it out. Again, that's GuyBostonSports.com if you want access to the dashboard. I swear by the thing. I built it, but I swear by it. All right, next one we're looking at is going to be Toronto taking on Detroit. Starting to lean towards the Detroit side of things and convincing myself that this could be a final play, honestly. So Detroit has won 8 of their last 10 games. They just swept the Red Sox. Toronto, though, honestly looked okay leading up until that Tampa Bay series, right? Did they sweep? I think they swept the Mariners, right? Which was a pretty damn impressive sweeping. Now, Jack Flaherty, who I would say has had his certain ups and downs this year, right? He is due for a good start, and I don't know if it's going to be a better situation than what we're getting from Toronto today. A team that is bottom 5 at hitting the fastball, we know that, and he also throws a slider as a second pitch. They're terrible at hitting that, and let me just show you in the dashboard, right? Fastball, slider, knuckle curve. Fastball, slider, knuckle curve. This should be perfect for him to go out there and do really well. My one concern, the two bats that you really worry about, Bichette and Guerrero, do hit the fastball well. They hit the slider okay. Guerrero loves to hit the knuckle curve, but we're only going to see that, 20% of the time or so. But yeah, I think this is a Detroit spot. They have the better bullpen. I believe they have a better offense. They're playing better baseball. And going up against Bowden Francis, who's going to throw a ton of fastballs and splitters, they should hit those pitches well as well. So yeah, I like the idea of Detroit on the money line today. That's going to be potentially a final play. I feel like I'm talking myself into it right now. In terms of what we have from a total, it's sitting at 8.5. I do think that Toronto's, bats will heat up at some point. Maybe not just yet. So maybe we take a peek at Detroit and their team total, because even if they do get to the bullpen and whatnot, I could see them putting up a decent, respectable number today. So I'm going to lean Detroit team total over 3.5, as well as them on the money line. So we might end up having a full unit on Detroit today, because I'll go half on the money line, half on the team total. And like I even told you guys, we've been still rolling with, I think next week, so, in a few days, next week, we're going to be starting to roll out full unit plays. I have been so freaking disciplined this year, telling myself, all right, for the first month or so, quarter unit plays. For the next month, we're going to roll with half unit plays. And I've been itching. I'm like, we've been so good percentage-wise in the MLB. Let me throw full units on, but we haven't. That is how you get in trouble, especially with not much data. Data being a huge part of baseball betting, any betting, but really baseball has so many analytics. So we kept it cool, got our footing, and pretty excited to start rolling with some full unit plays. Nonetheless, though, Detroit and their team total over is going to be what I'm looking at. I believe we had a player prop in this one as well. Vladdy over 1.5 hits, runs, and RBIs. Again, he's been on absolute fire, and this should be a decent pitch mix for him. But if we already have a full unit in this game and it's all Detroit side, I don't know if I want to be rooting for Vladdy. That's just like a mental thing. You know what I mean? All right, Red Sox taking on the Braves. We have a pitching duel here. Garrett Crochet and Chris Sale on the mound, which is really funny because Chris Sale, White Sox, then he turned Red Sox, and now he's pitching against them today, right? Garrett Crochet, a White Sox player, now Red Sox player, both lefties. This is going to be a pretty good game, and I think the pitching is going to be the thing that matters. So we're going pretty heavy, much like we just talked about Detroit putting half unit on two different things, amounting to a full unit. I already put a half unit on the first 5 under. That's 4.5 right now, and a half unit on the Braves team total under in the first 5, 1.5. The Braves are really bad on the road. They're really bad against lefties. They're going up against Garrett Crochet on the road today. So I think this could be a decent spot here. He's been really good against lefties and righties. I will say, Riley and then Olsen. There's one other guy in their lineup. In fact, it's on our dashboard. I'll tell you. Murphy, that does hit lefty as well. Everyone else really struggles. Albies, Ozuna, anyone else in that lineup should struggle today, whereas the Red Sox are pretty fantastic against lefties, fantastic against the slider and fastball, so that's why I did 2 separate ones. I said, okay, Braves team total under, but then also the full the both teams first 5 under, hoping Sale steps up to the plate today, no pun intended. But the Red Sox, if I were to say that either team has a chance of going off in the first 5, it would be the Sox. So, yeah, if that first one gets killed, hopefully Garrett Crochet does his damn job in the first 5, and we're able to kind of at least mitigate the loss. But I'm thinking that both pitchers go out there and duel it out, and we have a very low-scoring game through 5 innings. So, yeah, I guess I kind of leak my play as well. I think the Red Sox money line, Red Sox first 5 money line, as well as the under would be on play here. But I'm doing everything in the first 5 because why would we include a bunch of bullpen variables when we have 2 studs on the mound and a lot of information behind those 2 guys, right? Now, there's also the idea of being able to kind of like zero in on, I would say, some player props on the Braves side of things. Like I said, most guys don't hit lefties all that well. So if you did want to look at some of these guys like Ozzy Albies, I think you can get him under 1.5 bases. That could look good as well. He's batting 178 against lefties here. My concern is the pitch mix. Fastball and cutter, he actually hits fairly well. So yes, that could be a little, tough to kind of roll with there. Also, you have, I want to say that, do we have Sean Murphy is one of the guys that hits well, but then the pitch mix actually looks pretty good for him. So again, you could stretch it and say, yes, let's go under for these guys, but Murphy would be the only one, I guess, that I start to potentially consider, especially when we already have 2 plays that we've already locked in this one. So final plays you can already expect. First 5 under in the full game, under 4.5, and then Atlanta under 1.5 in the first 5. Crochet, go be good today. Go be good today, man. Miami taking on Tampa Bay. I think we have 2, pitchers that are going to be better than the bats today, but the problem is I'd be all over like a first 5 under or something like that in this game, and that still could be a potential spot that we're looking at. There's 2 problems here. We have Taj Bradley on the road, not nearly as trustworthy as he is at home, and then Max Meyer, who I do think is pretty good and has been good at home this year. He throws a ton of sliders. That's like one of the pitches that Tampa Bay hits right now, like one of the only pitches. So makes it a little bit tough, but I would say maybe first 5 under in this one. And then Marlins, I think this price is pretty indicating of what we should expect. Like, I don't think you should be getting the Rays at plus money if they are the better team in a sense, which they may be. So I'm going to go Marlins and the first 5 under, but I haven't really sunk my teeth into this one, and I can't guarantee that I'm going to as we move forward. I think there's a lot of better options out there on the board today. All right, Kansas City taking on St. Louis. So I almost got down with Kansas City today. Don't think I'm going to, because I do think they're inconsistent. That's not really the big reason. Now, Cole Regan's over Palante is, I do think, a big advantage to Kansas City, but Kansas City's inconsistency kind of turns me off of it, and Regan's is a fantastic fastball pitcher. He's really good at it, right? St. Louis 3rd in terms of runs above average against the fastball this year. So in the last 30 days, excuse me. So that kind of worries me a little bit. And if Reagans doesn't have a good game, that means St. Louis will put up some runs. And can we really trust Kansas City to score a bunch? No. So that's why I stayed off of it. That does not put me to the St. Louis side of things, by the way. It just was enough to keep me off of Kansas City, unfortunately. In terms of what we have from a total perspective, I guess I would say an over, because I do think the Royals hopefully can get to Palante. And then again, even if Reagan's pitch is okay and his fastball is good, but he's throwing it a lot, St. Louis should be able to score a couple runs off of it. That's their favorite pitch to hit. Texas taking on Houston. Lance McCullers Jr. on the bump going up against Nate Eovaldi. I think it's clear which team has the pitching advantage here. Nate Eovaldi would be the guy that I would trust. I think that we're looking at a price that is just a little far out of the price range, especially with a Texas lineup that isn't all that, I guess, boom or bust, but they're most likely a bust team. They did win yesterday, but what'd they win? It was 1-0. Like, come on. This team has won 6 straight games, but they've just done it in very inconsistent ways. Like, their runs against in that 6-game stretch, 3-1-1, 3-0. So, like, they are definitely winning games, but they're not being pressed. Now, are the Astros going to be able to get to Eovaldi and press him? Probably not, right? I mean, he has some decent numbers. 148 plate appearances against, expected batting average of 261, launch angle just 13.2. So it's like, yeah, I do think that he could have a decent game. And Lance McCullers, I think Texas could get to, but much like we just talked about Kansas City, though I like Texas, I could consider them first 5-run line. I don't know how much we can really trust their offense and a few other pieces and question marks. So I think we ultimately stay off of it. But I didn't get to Houston at any point during the research today. I also don't mind an under, because again, if Eovaldi's going to go out there and pitch well, we can say that even though Lance McCullers Jr. kind of stinks, this Texas lineup is not guaranteed to give you a bunch of runs. Milwaukee, Minnesota. I would give my hat here to Minnesota. They have Joe Ryan on the mound. They've won a bunch of games in a row, but I don't want to get on like the train too late, right? If you guys have been cashing out on the Twins money line because they've just been winning, and I'm just joining the party now, like I'm going to be the jinx and everyone's going to hate it, right? So I do think Minnesota wins this one. I don't know if we can get down on them today, but I will say with Joe Ryan on the mound, the way that they've been batting, the way they've been playing, to be able to get, minus 105 on them is kind of crazy. But maybe that tells you this smells a little bit like a trap. Going up against Chad Patrick, they should be able to hit him. So yeah, I think this is all day Minnesota. I think Joe Ryan is really good, but I'm afraid I'm too late to it. I don't know if I want to jump onto it now, because you never want to get onto a trend, the game that loses, obviously. Now that total is at 7.5. So that tells me that this Minnesota offense isn't necessarily going to go off. Chad Patrick may be okay, and even in his, recent starts, he's looked pretty okay, right? 5 to 6 innings pitched, 3-ish earned runs, not a ton of base runners, so maybe we do have a low-scoring game here where the end of the game situation kind of decides it, which also Minnesota has the better bullpen, so I'm going to lean towards Minnesota as well as the under. All right, now, unfortunately, we're probably going to go through some of these next few games pretty quickly because look at the odds, right? Arizona, Colorado, would say that there's no real reason to get to Colorado here. Corbin Burns against Tanner Gordon. Corbin Burns, even though he's had some down games so far this year, I would still put him head and shoulders above this Colorado pitcher, and he's been really good at home, in fact. He's also going to throw the cutter, which maybe Colorado can hit. Like, they're actually not bad against the cutter, so maybe we look at an over here. Arizona should be able to go off, and then maybe Colorado pokes in a couple. So give me the over. It's kind of the only thing that we can get to, because no way, shape, or form are you going to be able to get to Arizona. Even their run line today, I wanted to say, what was it? Their run line today was 2.5 for -115. Having to win by 3 runs is asinine, especially when you're the home team. You don't get those last at bat. If you are up by like 2 heading into the 9th, that would stink. So I would go total over in this game, and that's probably all I would touch. Again, I apologize to go through this one so quick, but -425, what value are we going to pick there? It's not like we can really see much value on the Colorado side. San Diego taking on Seattle. Now, this one could be looked at as interesting because you have 2 good offenses. And yes, it is crazy to say that this Seattle offense is good, but Stephen Kolek on the mound going up against Logan Evans. Neither one of these pitchers I want to trust all that much. I just think San Diego at home probably has the advantage. And yeah, no duh, look at, they get the -150 price tag. I think you can beat that price right now, actually. -140 is what they're looking at right now. So yeah, I'm gonna go San Diego. I also don't mind the over, though. Like I said, neither one of these pitchers I'm all that thrilled with or anything like that. When it gets to the bullpen, San Diego should have a decent advantage, but you know, this Seattle bullpen isn't all that great, so there could be some runs that come in late there. So give me San Diego as well as the over, and then I'm kind of thinking about some player props. Don't have any to share with you yet, but if we add any, I'll make sure to put them in the final plays with a little blurb and reasoning as to why I like it and the rationale. If you guys made it this far in the video, go ahead and comment 30 down below. Lets me know that you made it this far and that you spent this time with me today. Really do appreciate it. Hope everyone has a great Friday, actually. Comment 30. Let me know that you made it this far in the video. But we got LA taking on LA again, similar to what we just looked at with Arizona and Colorado. I tried to even make an angle to somehow fade Dustin May and get to LA, but like, what are we doing here, right? They're a terrible offense. They have Jack Conowich on the mound. All he does is keep the ball on the ground. Great. I still think the Dodgers can score some runs against him. So Dodgers team total over is what I'd consider here. I think this game probably finishes under, though, just because I don't know how many runs the Angels score. So Dodgers team total over, I would like more, but I also don't mind a full game under. I think that, you know, like I said, I tried to get to Dustin May having somewhat of a game where the Angels could score because I kind of wanted to work towards an over at first. Couldn't get there. I think this could be, you know, a 6-3 game, maybe, and that's still under the line of 9.5. So Dodgers team total over, which is crazy because it kind of doesn't correlate to the full game under, but maybe we just look at Angels team total under as well. All right, I think we actually have a play in this one that has a chance of being a final play. Now, we're paying some juice for it, -156 over on ProfitX, but I like Giants Athletics first 5 under. You have JP Sears, who... Is he a good pitcher? I wouldn't necessarily say that, but he's been phenomenal to the first 5. He's a lefty. It's not like San Fran hits the lefties all that well. The slider I worry about, but on the other side, you have Logan Webb. He should definitely hold down the fort against this squad, right? And force a lot of ground balls. So yeah, even though San Fran's massively favored, we're able to find something in this one. I'm going to be taking a peek at the first 5 under, and that's probably got a good chance of being a final play. I still think that San Fran has the advantage if you want to look at them first 5 run line or something like that, and then the full game under as well. But I wouldn't really want to trust that A's bullpen late in the game. I think first 5 is the perfect spot. But guys, it's going to wrap it up for today's show. Hopefully you guys did enjoy. If you did, go ahead and hit that like button, hit that subscribe button as well. Really do appreciate you rocking with me today. We'll catch you guys in the next one, all right? Peace out.